Hey, everybody. My gosh, feel like it was just yesterday I was talking to you. And it was. I was having a cup of coffee with a pink umbrella, and now I'm having a very simple cocktail. It's actually quite hot out. Happy Whiskey Wednesday, everybody. It's quite hot out today. It is, what is this? September 17th. So it's kind of fall here in Wisconsin, but I think it's warm out. Actually, I shouldn't say it's warm out. It was warm yesterday. Um, I think it's probably warm today. I actually haven't left my house. I haven't left my basement. I haven't left this room except to go to the bathroom, I guess, and go to eat. Because I've been here doing stuff the whole time, typing. But hello, everybody. Anyway, happy Whiskey Wednesday. Good evening if you're overseas, especially. If you're here in the States, it's probably maybe you're getting off work. Maybe you want to pour yourself a drink. I've got a nice raspberry lemonade cocktail. Poured a little vodka in there too. Something simple, something easy, but something refreshing again. So obviously really easy. Picked a little bit of mint from the garden to freshen that up as well. So it's actually our own mint too. So cheers to all of you on this nice Whiskey Wednesday. This is going to be really simple, really easy. This is for you. This is just a quick Q&A. We have launched the Kickstarter. We are doing wonderfully. I'm just so thrilled, over the moon with all the support. We launched yesterday morning at 9 o'clock. So it's just roughly a day and a half since we launched the Cocktails Kickstarter, the final expansion for Distilled. We are just over $300,000 raised, which is just nuts. Can't believe it. It's crazy. And we've got about 2 weeks left in the campaign. So it's going to be ending 2 weeks from tomorrow, actually. So 2 weeks from Thursday. So really excited. But of course, we knew that there's probably be lots of questions people might have. So this is your chance, just in case, if you have any questions for us, your chance to ask them. But I'm also, of course, we're recording this. So for people that can't make it, or for people overseas that might be in bed already, we also have been collecting some questions too. So I'm going to also just start out by just, answering some of those and sipping my cocktail. So to kick it off, we collected a few different ones, and I'm going to kind of go down that list, and I want to be sure to kind of address those. But if you have a burning question at all, please put it in the chat. So you can be watching. That's right. If you got the burning questions, put them in, write them down, and we will post them up on screen if you want. We can also just, do whatever you want, and we will be happy to answer them. More than happy. So do know that, and we'll get to them when we can. So yeah. Hey, Bethany, thanks for tuning in so much. Oh man, what am I most excited for? Oh geez. Well, actually, Bethany, this is an awesome question, because maybe other people will want to write what they're most excited about as well. What am I most excited about? That's a very good question. Okay, so I'll do the expansion and the campaign. What I'm most excited about for the expansion, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm probably most excited about seeing even though it doesn't have anything to do with the game itself, I'm excited about seeing the actual cask, the collector's cask, and seeing what that looks like. Eric's already done a pretty amazing job. Let me share my screen real quick as I pull down, once I get down to there to show people. He's done a pretty amazing job already of what that looks like, with just some drawings of it. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what that looks like once we see that actually in physical form. Know that that's going to be something that is going to change over time. It's going to still always, of course, look like a big barrel. So if you stand it up straight like that, so standing straight up on your shelf, you'll see that barrel like it's standing up straight, or on the side, you'll see it. If you see it, let's see, where is it? There's one. Oh, there. If you have it on your shelf this way, you might see it resting on the shelf too. So we're really excited about that. So that's probably one of the things I'm most excited about. But I think one of the other things I'm most excited about the campaign itself. I think I'm probably excited, even though this is something I do quite often. I'm actually really excited to run the different playthroughs, because we're doing different ones, right? So we've got a 4-player game, we've got a solo game, we've got a 2-player game. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Blake's cocktail nights. So one is going to be coming up Friday night. So there's lots of fun live events, I think, that are going to be really, really fun to do, really fun to see. And yeah, so like as well, and Libby's kind of in the background putting these out. So that's not just me typing this and then writing it out. But yes, the metal bottles. I'm guessing Libby's talking about the metal glasses too. So those are the metal cocktail glasses are going to be pretty fun as well. So we're excited about those as well. So yeah, that's what I would say, Bethany. Great question about what we are really looking forward to in the campaign. And what are you excited about, Bethany? Like, is there something you saw that caught your eye in the expansion or coming up in the campaign as far as an event? That would be really fun to hear what you're looking forward to as well. So yeah, I think I see one. I'm going to have to put this out there. Yeah. Okay, so Hill Films, how did you manage to drink all those cocktails in the video without ending up on the floor? So for those that haven't seen it, be sure, and I'm not going to do it right now because I don't even know if the sound's going to come through, but be sure afterwards, or just, turn me off and do this and then come back. But be sure to hit play, right? So if I do this, you'll plays, and there's a video here. For those that don't know, because I say that because it is a little like weird if you start the Kickstarter, if you come here, you might not notice that, but that is actually a video. So you can hit play and watch that. It's also on our YouTube channel. And yeah, take a look if you haven't seen that yet. So the question is, how did I manage to do that? Well, again, years of practice, years and years of practice. I live in Wisconsin. I should totally do this real quick while I'm talking, see if I can find it. But there's like, if you search a map that talks about like a United States map of like a heat map of something like people who, this is not good. This is not a good thing, but people who drink, the number of people who drink, or the number of drinks people are able to hold, how much alcohol someone can hold or whatever. Wisconsin's like the number one. I'm not kidding. It's kind of embarrassing. So anyway, how was I able to do it? So a couple secrets there, couple back, tips. First, not all of those, of course, had alcohol. I'm sorry. It's a stage secret. I will let you in on a little secret of all of those. They all didn't have alcohol. I'm sorry. I will tell you, the first one, if you watch it, I'm drinking a fine whiskey. So that I was given the tip that should be apple juice, and it was, I think, Dean Martin used to have a whiskey all the time on set, always drinking whiskey and always a little slushy, and got a reputation for being kind of a drunk. Turns out it was always apple juice, and he just put on a show. This is not apple juice. This is delicious vodka and raspberry lemonade. So it was apple juice, nice whiskey. Well, my awesome wife, Emily, was supposed to bring the apple juice to me that morning. She wasn't there. Luckily, I did have some whiskey. So I was 9 a.m. We started filming. So I did have some whiskey. I started off with whiskey. I had like one or two. I think I had to go through about 2 full, because we had enough takes that I actually had to go through about 2 full drams of whiskey. So I started off the whole thing drinking actually a decent amount of whiskey. And then for the next couple, they were just like water or whatever. I forget if it was anything actually in it. The old fashioned, though, did have it. So then the old fashioned, I did once again have it. So that was my 3rd drink. And then that was it. That was it. But then the last drink, which was the giant punch bowl, had so much sugar in it. It was so sugary that it wasn't me feeling drunk, but it was just me like feeling like sick. I mean, it was actually worse than drunk. That was the secret. To, if you heard me slurring at all, there's maybe a little bit of that, but the reason I didn't fall over is because I was able to balance myself somewhat throughout. So great question, Hill Films, for that. Ziggy. Ziggy's who let Ziggy in? Who let Ziggy into this chat? Hey, Ziggy, will the whole game fit? What is this? What is this? Some sort of crossover? Will the whole game fit on the Luthier playmat? Yes, it will, Ziggy. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. I should have probably had this had the Luthier had it all set up so I could show you. But actually, it will fit on the Luthier playmat. We actually set that up specifically for one reason for that. We wanted to make sure that it did for not only the reason that you're asking, so that if we have fans that have the Luthier playmat, then they know that they can have it set up on it, but also just because that's kind of a, somewhat oftentimes a standard table that also works out well then at cons. Obviously a convention, if this is kind of the Luthier playmat, or, I don't know, this is the Luthier playmat. Conventions, of course, aren't this size. Conventions are skinnier but longer. And so it's still kind of the same square footage or square, what do you say, meterage? I don't know. Centimeterage. I don't know what the term is. Anyway, the same space, just laid out differently, which is another reason. And I'll tell you this is not a question you're asking, but this is another reason that many people ask, like, why don't you why do you have all these different modular things? Why don't you just make a giant mat or a giant board or something like that? Well, the reason is because of the different table sizes for people have. We want to make it very modular. So we have lots of different boards that you can reconfigure. And that's why Distilled is actually the way it is for that exact reason, because hardly ever do people play the game the same way. While Luthier, it kind of demands it, not only just because there's a board there, but because of the way we have it set up. And so again, with Distilled, getting back to your question, for sure, it definitely fits on it. Let me back up. 4-player definitely fits on it. If you're playing 5-player Distilled, you got to have a bigger table anyway. So if you are a 5-player Distilled player person, then it's likely you have a bigger table. Fun fact, Distilled was never supposed to be a 5-player game. That was a stretch goal that we did in the first campaign, just because backers really wanted it. I think probably, knowing what I know now, sorry, 5-player people, I probably now would have, and I'm just saying this out loud, so I hope people aren't going to get mad at me. I think if I could go back in time, I probably would have been like, no, not 5-player game. Sorry, it's 1 to 4. And then we probably would have done something with the 5th player expansion and had, like, I don't know if we would have kept cast strength the same. Maybe we would have somehow put Africa, Middle East in the 5th player expansion. We would have still given it all to you all in that campaign, but just had that in a separate box or something. I don't know. I'm talking out loud. I'm getting off track. But just because the number of people I think that actually play Distilled at 5 players is probably pretty small. So anyway, yes. Thank you, Libby. Yeah, please stop Dave from rambling. Let us know if you have any questions. Okay, can I get back? I'm going to get back to the questions we did have. Let's first talk about a big one, a big elephant in the room one. Well, it's not elephant in the room. It's a big one that we've had, and that's localization. A lot of you have been asking about localization. It's one of the biggest questions. Well, wait a minute. Distilled was in so many different languages. Why is this one just English? And hopefully you've scrolled down. I won't share the screen and do this here, but hopefully you scrolled down further down the page and you saw the reason for this is manyfold. One, and probably the biggest one, is because in Luthier we discovered that most of the updates I was giving my foreign language friends oftentimes ended up being just bad news, or not bad news, but just news of, yeah, sorry, it just means your game's going to be later, instead of good news. And I didn't really like that feeling. And so rather than just more of that, and knowing that we could do the same thing by just working with our localization partners right away, I figured, let's figure out a way to just still allow them to participate in the campaign, which is what we're doing through the collector's cask, through lots of the upgrades. And so it is still something that you can elect to do if you want. I know that some of you are saying, well, but is my language going to be offered? And that is a very good question. And so the first step that we would encourage you to consider doing, if you are hoping to have distilled in your language, and I would say that's mostly if you already have distilled in your language. If you're hoping to have distilled in your language and it isn't currently, that will be a little harder because that means we have to start conversations with new publishers. It's not impossible, but that's a lot of work. That means they're going to have to start from the beginning. But let's use German language publishers or gamers, for instance. Distilled base games already published. Distilled African, Middle East, and Cast Strength is already published. So what we will do now is we'll be in conversation with that publisher. And they will then begin once we finish, not until we're finished. Once we finish with all the files and we are ready to print, then we share those files with that publisher. And then they begin the translation process and the reconfiguring and reformatting process if need be for graphic design. And then we start manufacturing their games. And so what we hope to be able to do is in the next couple months, communicate to you that good news of, yes, we've essentially signed the contract, which is what it really needs to be for you to feel confident in that. And then at that point, it does not mean we are going to open up, and I want to be very clear about this. It doesn't mean that we're going to open up a pledge for, as an example, German localized versions of cocktails in the pledge manager. That will still be something that you will just obtain through either perhaps the web store of that localization partner, or perhaps through your friendly local game store. But what it does mean is you can get all of the deluxe upgrades as part of this campaign at a very much reduced price as compared to, maybe it's down the road, because we will have, what we're trying to do is have some sort of kind of, it'll be almost kind of like a pledge without the game itself in it. So almost kind of imagine what you see right now with the collector's cask that has the game in it, but without the game in it. So if you wanted to do that, you could. If you want to just get some of the add-ons, you could do that too. That'll be an option. You can see those prices right now on that. There's a chart, so you could do that too. So again, we're going to try and do that. We're trying to find the best of both worlds, so it's something that you can make an informed decision about. I'm sorry that I can't necessarily just predict the future and say these are the languages we'll have. It's been always a challenge to try and navigate those waters, because it's not up to me. If it was up to me, we'd print in all the languages that we printed distilled in, but it's not. It's up to those localization partners, and it doesn't mean that they decide. If they decide not to print, so if a partner that printed, let's just say, distilled base game, if they decide, they can decide either yes or no. They don't own cocktails, right? They can decide to print cocktails, yes or no. And if they decide yes, great. They'll go forward with that. If they decide no, then we can try to approach other partners. As you can imagine, it might be difficult to do, because if someone else has printed the base game, they might not be as interested in that. Very much so, in fact. But we can try. And so that's the process we're in right now. Luckily, Distilled's a fairly popular game. And so we're hopeful that we're going to have some good success there. And I would say the last thing I'll talk about there, and obviously people watching, if you have questions, please add to that if you have follow-up questions here. But also the last thing I'll say on that is that your voices help there. So please reach out to your favorite publisher or the publisher that focused on publishing Distilled in your language. And please, please, please make it very clear to them, loud and clear, and all your fellow players and fans in your language that you want to see this published. And that's going to help as well. So, okay, great. Lauren, great question. Any chance that the playmat, so the premium market playmat, will be available as an add-on by itself? I've made my pledge, but don't need to buy the metal coins, etc. Listen to the $80 upgrade question. Oh, for sure. That's a great question, Lauren. So what will happen is that right now in the campaign, and I know it's a little confusing, but this is just the nature of these campaigns. In the campaign, we have these bundles. So think of them as these bundles that say, hey, you can get this and it's all bundled together. You can get this and it's all bundled together. And I know there's lots of other stuff as well that is kind of enticing. Like, I just want that thing out of the bundle. I just want that thing. Don't worry. Everything you see here will be a la carte afterwards. So you can get a couple of the things now, but then, or you can get a couple of things kind of bundled together now, but later you'll be able to get everything you want afterwards. And the main focus again there, and maybe I will go down quickly just because I think that might be helpful. If I can find it, and then I'll share my screen again. Where are you? I should just, I'm so used to the old Kickstarter. Where's my comparison chart? Pledge comparison. Boom. Okay. So this chart is what, and I'm just pointing to it, but you'll just want to go here yourself and look at it closely. The pledge comparison chart is probably what you want to look at. So now we, of course, have these pledges. We have these pledges because we're trying to just help you make a quick decision, and it allows you to save a decent amount of money by doing that because you're bundling it together. But if you're like Lauren and says, yeah, I just want one of these things. And yeah, and you're right. This looks kind of funky. Like, I don't want all of this. You're totally right. We just tried to save room. Now I'm getting what you're saying, Lauren. We're just trying to save room here because originally we had these as separate lines and it was like, it was way too long. And so I just said, let's combine all this together. But yes. And then further down, we have them all listed separately. So we're saying, yes, every single one of these is going to be listed as their own separate add-on. So great question. Great question. Cool. Great question, Lauren. Yeah, keep them coming. If anyone else has other ones, go for it. Thanks, Bethany. Yes. Ooh, cool. Thank you, Bethany. Favorite game. That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for people to get a chance to play this. And we'll have this at future conventions as well. So be sure to keep an eye out for conventions that we'll be at. Essen will be coming up, so you'll get a chance to play it there. If you're going to be there, you can try out cocktails for yourself there. A couple rounds, a little taste as well. So let's see. Blake, let's see. General question about manufacturing. Does a games publisher or designer have to wait for a time slot for great for manufacturer? I know it takes time to iron out the PPC and the embassy. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think a time slot. I think for the most part, usually it's not too much of a problem because you're talking with that manufacturer for so long in advance, Blake, that it's usually not an issue. So for instance, with Distilled, we work with What's Games, WHATZ Games. What's manufactured the prototypes for us, which when it's a prototype, it might look nice on the outside, and it is, but in reality, it's just a white box, and inside it's it's all just a prototype, right? And so I've been talking with What's about this for now, about a year, right? I mean, lightly at first, but and probably for the last 6 months, a lot more heavily, talking about pricing and talking about prototypes. And so they know that I'm coming down the pike, and they know that the quotes I'm asking for are in the tens of thousands of games, or the tens of thousands of copies of this or copies of that. And so when they're, depending on who they're working with and the size of the publisher, they're also kind of slotting in for them, if that makes sense. Now, with that said, if I came along and I just said, hey, I need to manufacture this really quickly, they're going to say, well, you're going to need to wait a little while because we've already kind of booked that out. So it kind of just depends. But that's a really great question, Blake. Lauren asks, will the organizer tray in the cocktails box accommodate the metal and acrylic updated components? Ooh, good one, Lauren. Okay, good. So, yes. So will the organizer tray in the cocktails box accommodate the metal and acrylic updated components? Yes, they will. So that is especially if we're talking about, well, actually they will regardless. So when you say cocktails box, I assume you're talking about this box. So to be clear, and this actually might answer a couple questions here. Let's see if I can get to the insert spot. I think that was maybe at the bottom of this. Sorry, here, I'm just going to add this real quick. Maybe it's under here. Yes. Okay. So the inserts in the cocktails and the collector's cask are a little different, or clearly, of course. Cocktails is going to come with one insert. It's going to be kind of a medium size insert. Probably, I'm guessing, I don't have it obviously with me yet, but I'm guessing it'll probably be about this big, I'd say. This is going to be holding your mixer tokens as well as your wooden screen printed glass tokens. And yes, great question, Lauren. Will these actually accommodate them if they're the acrylic and the metal upgrades? Yes. They'll be roughly the same size. So that's one reason for it. But also in working with Bryce, who designed the insert, who also actually is the one that helped sculpt, and they're not finished yet, but helped sculpt those metal glass minis. We made sure that there's some extra room, so they will definitely do it. Now, hopefully, I'm not sure if you asked this question. They will not accommodate both. So if you wanted to be able to combine both of them in there and hold both of them, I don't think they'll do that. I think that we'd probably be able to still have you store those in a bag in there if you wanted to hold on to them. And I can't say that for sure yet, but I think that might be a little tricky. So again, just kind of keep that in mind, that holding both of them might be a little tough. But definitely if you want to swap them out, for sure. And to be continued on whether we can combine them both. Now, that's the thing that will come in with the cocktails box. We know that with distilled, we're coming with all these different inserts, and that's what makes the game quite expensive, in fact. And we're trying to keep the cocktails cost down as low as we can, the retail edition, because the cocktails game is so freaking big. And so we put most of our research and our efforts as far as funds and cost into then more inserts into the collector's cask. So I know you didn't ask this. I just want to make sure we answer this right now. In addition to other trays, we're going to have this orange tray. It's a tiki glass tray, as well as a new black base tray that's going to hold all types of sleeves cards. So any types of sleeves you have will hold, and a new clear tray. So you'll have 3 brand new trays, plus obviously the green one that would have been in the cocktails one. So 4 new trays would come in this collector's cask. Plus you'll bring over your 3 barrel-shaped trays from original distilled into this. So we want to really try and emphasize reusing whenever we can. So again, there's going to be a lot of different trays that go into here to help us store everything for your whole collection in there. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to switch this to stop sharing. If one backs the barrel proof, so hey Matthew, if one backs the barrel proof edition, will they get the standard cardboard wooden tokens and the upgraded tokens, or just the upgrade? Oh, great question, Matthew. Yes, they will get both. You will get both. You will get both. So great question. So what you will essentially will happen is you will get the barrel proof edition. You're going to get everything that would come in this game except for the box. So what we're trying to do is, again, thinking about sustainability whenever we can, we're going to pack the guts of it, what's inside this, into the barrel proof edition, which includes the wood, the wood bits, the glass tokens, includes the punch board, right? And one reason for that too, if you think about it, is that there's actually 2 different editions. There's just a collector's cask, and then there's a barrel proof edition for the collector's cask. And technically those 2 will look basically identical inside. And then on top of that, we will add these extra deluxe upgrades. So almost think of them as extra bags, kind of like for you distilled fans out there. If you got the metal coins, they didn't come inside the distilled box, right? Or if you got the metal cubes, didn't come inside the box. So yes, great question. You will get both. You'll get to decide what you do with it, but you'll get both. So Andre, oh Lordy Andre. Okay, get ready. I got to read my essay here. Okay. Facebook. Give me a second to read this. I'm just going to read it. Open Facebook, find out more info about you, and lucky to have you live. Awesome. Bought the pre-order from extensions and add-ons. I believe they should be back in stock with the release with the cocktails extension. You just kind of answered my question. Here we go. Will it be available different bundles with the other add-ons by themselves? Small extensions bundle, early premium add-ons, all previous extensions. I think I understand your question, and yes. So if you want, Andre, if you went to the Kickstarter page and you saw these cool bundles and you said, yes, that's the exact thing I want. I want everything. The Distillery Inheritance, you can get it. If you're like, no, I don't need all that stuff. I just want, I have base distilled and I just want the extensions. That's it. Great. Wait until after the campaign's over and go to GameFound, which is where our pledge manager is. And then you can think of it as a store and you can buy separate things. You can also do that right now. If you don't want to wait, and you can also go right now onto paversandgames.com and you can actually order some of those things now. And within a few weeks, you could be getting those. Obviously, you can't get cocktails. Those are the things you cannot get. But some of the other things you could get now, which is what I would maybe recommend for some of you, especially the ones I would recommend this the most is if you have never played Distill before, but you're really excited about it. Maybe I keep telling people, maybe you get distilled base game and that's it. Like right now, and it doesn't need to be our site. Get it from your favorite brick and mortar local game store, right? Give them a little bit of business, and get that game, play it a couple times, play it between now and next year and really get into it, really enjoy it. And then you'll be all the more excited for cocktails when it comes. So that could be another thing you could do too. Ziggy. All right. When do I plan to have samples of the metal glass minis as well as the acrylic tokens? Well, when I have samples, it doesn't matter. I'm going to show them to everyone but Ziggy. Let's just make that clear right now, because we all know. So nobody knows. People watching might not know Ziggy. I have special love in my heart for Ziggy. Ziggy is my number one critic, and I say that with love on Discord. If you are not on our Discord yet, maybe Libby can pop it in the comments if people want to join our Discord. We have an awesome time over there. Ziggy brings a smile on my face every day with some of the comments they give out there. But yeah, to the question, good question, Ziggy. But and I'll jest, I'm kidding. Ziggy is one of many of our awesome fans on the Discord, and we share stuff back and forth all the time. Updates, get feedback. So it's really great stuff. Thanks, Libby. So with the samples, good question. It'll be a little while. The both of those things, the acrylic tokens and the metal glass minis, both of those were just simply renders we got literally a week before the Kickstarter. And the metal glass minis are not done. I was happy with them just for the Kickstarter, but I'm really excited to keep working with Bryce on those. I want to do a little bit more with those. The acrylic tokens are going to be fairly easy because it's basically taking Eric's work. And then those, let me back up. I think those will probably be a little easier to have samples or quicker. And so I would hope maybe that's in the next couple months, but those are the types of things that, can kind of wait, because we really want to continue to push hard and work towards getting everything ready for print. And then print takes a while. And while that's happening, then we can work on some of those other samples. So good question, but yeah, it'll still be a little bit of time. Box Meeples. Yes. Oh, good question. Are you able to chat a bit about the new distillery upgrades and the promo pack? When I play, I tend to go down the distillery upgrade route. Will this help me actually beat Kevin for the first time? Maybe. This is kind of like in Luthier. If people who are getting a chance to play Luthier, if you're one that finds yourself with lots of money and you go to the market and you pay to climb the skill track because the nobles are just throwing money at you, and you just buy yourself up the tracks, which is a rare occasion. But if you have a couple nobles, that might be you. This is kind of the equivalent. So basically, what Box Meeples there was asking is that part of the promo pack, every single one of you out there that is going to be backing the game at the 49, basically any of the options, 49 or higher. So getting the mixologist or higher during the campaign. It has to be during the campaign, people. So keep that in mind. You're going to get a free 21 card promo pack. That promo pack is going to be 15 cards. It's going to be year one that we can talk about later, and you'll see us play next Saturday. So a week from this Saturday. And then 5 prestigious distillery upgrades. These prestigious distillery upgrades, actually, no joke, were part of my original design back in Scotland in 2019. I had these as something that you could have. I think it was then, or maybe it was right afterwards. I should pull out a picture of those sometime. These prestigious distillery upgrades are not a typical upgrade that would sit in the premium market. This is something that actually sits separate from everything else, and it's just a fun thing. So don't think this is not a strategic gameplay new mechanic at all. No, it's a fun kind of little thing that you can play with in your games, and it is a new opportunity. So again, for Box Meeples, this could be a neat thing to consider. It's going to be a stack of 5. Or player count. So if there's 3 players, 3 stack of the player count. And the topmost one is going to be the most expensive one. But it's also going to be worth the most points. And it's just pure points. All you're doing is buying it. And you're going to place it on your board if you've got room in your upgrades or placing it. And you are going to just get points at the end of the game. It has no effect, no action, no nothing. You're just going to do it. And what's fun about it is for this campaign is soon we are going to kind of open up some stuff to maybe let you all get a little bit of experience as being a part of that too. So stay tuned for that. You'll find out more details about that later. But we're really excited about that part for sure. So yeah, stay tuned. And maybe, just maybe, if you are one that sells lots of vodka and lots of moonshine and just makes lots of money, you too could be the one. Yes. Well, yeah, JB, this is you got to talk. So again, back in the Discord, I do hope one day cocktails will be on BGA. Yes, hopefully so. We got to get on JB in the Discord on that. So, all right. Any other questions? Should I go to another one? Okay. Yes. Is that a bottle of Blanton's up there? Yes. Whoa, good eye. How did you see that? Yes, overpriced. I've always thought not a great sipping bourbon. You are so right. Let's see. Good eye. Yes. Okay. Let's see. What do we got over here? I can do a tour of my whiskey. I got so many good whiskeys up here. All these are the whiskeys I haven't opened. Oh, wait. Oh, no, this is mine. Oh, well, I'll bring this one down too. Now, these are all the whiskeys I've never opened, except for this one I've finished, because this is the very first whiskey. I opened this whiskey when I signed the contract with Eric to illustrate and do graphic design for Distilled. I think we maybe, I don't know, maybe our last sip was when maybe when we delivered it. I can't remember, but this one's empty. But yes, this Blanton's is dusty. It's a Blanton's, and I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you on this. But I got it at Buffalo Trace. So I got it for the normal price. So it's not expensive. It was like $40. But it's and it's not that good. I mean, it's a good whiskey, but it's not that good. It's completely what's it called when it's, whatever, people overblow it. Yeah. So yes, good observation. I could go through my whole whiskey collection back. Those are just my unopened ones. I got a bunch of others somewhere else. All right, what else we got? Oh yeah, Lauren, big box. I know. It's so good, isn't it? Didn't Eric do such a good job? It's so good. I know that's the problem. This is funny. I wonder if Kevin's watching this because I remember saying like I kind of want to still send them this. I want to like send them both, but we realized like that's not good because then it's just like people are just gonna throw this out. So I wish, but it's just too much waste. So, but we'll probably, I don't know, maybe we can, I don't know. Oh, I shouldn't say this. Maybe there's a way we can do like some sort of like poster or something people could do. I don't know. Just people want to do a poster or something, some sort of cool like thing you could hang in your game room. I don't know. It's cool though, isn't it? Yeah, it's such a good box or such a good illustration. So yeah, pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. But yeah, you could still get both if you wanted. Japanese whiskeys. I haven't gotten deep enough into them, so I don't know them that well. I mean, I know them well enough. We have a fun fact. We do have a Japanese whiskey or a Japanese barrel in cocktails. So one of the wooden barrels you can get in cocktails is actually a Japanese wooden barrel. We thought that would be fun. So you'll see that in cocktails is one of the cool new barrels. But yeah, I haven't gotten into it too much. Someday I hope to go to Japan, so hopefully I'll get more into it then. Kevin, why does the cocktail expansion say it's the retail version? Is it the same version in the collector edition? Good question. We say retail. I don't know. Maybe it's not the right name for it there. What we're trying to communicate is that this is going to be what you're going to find on the store shelf. So if you back the $49 mixologist version, what is delivered to you and what you open up will be the same exact thing besides the promo pack that you get, the year one promo pack, that's extra, will be the same exact thing as what you will see on a store shelf. It will be more expensive on the store shelf than what you're paying for it during the campaign, but it will be the same exact thing. The collector's cask, which is that big barrel, that you will not be able to find anywhere else. The only place you will find it is in this campaign, or for as long as we have some more on our website. We probably won't actually end up bringing many, honestly, to the shows. I don't think. I'm saying that. I'm sure we'll bring some, but they take up a lot of space. And so even Luthier is a beast, as we are learning. And so it's tough to bring too many of those, and especially with these, because they'll be basically almost empty. It's going to really be hard to justify bringing many of those. So I think most of what we're going to do is focus on who orders these through our Kickstarter. So hopefully that answers your question. All right. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Blake, I'm assuming you were late to work. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't know. Well, I see. Libby, that's not one you should put in the chat. All right. Because now I've probably got people. Okay. Well, no, I wasn't late to work at all. I wouldn't miss teaching for that. I don't have my buddy Bob watching this chat right now. No problem, Kevin. Yes, I'll put it up there again. What did it say? I was late to work. I think it said, you can put it up there again. Yeah, so I wasn't, yeah, this is funny. So yes, so this is interesting because I teach on Tuesday, Thursdays. So I for those that don't know, I teach at a university. And my teaching schedule is Tuesday, Thursdays. I teach from about 8 a.m. until about 6 p.m. Well, I teach until about 5, but then I have office hours. So I'm usually on campus till about 6:30. And I teach straight, really no breaks besides like 10 minutes between classes. And so I'm teaching. And so launching a Kickstarter is almost like you have to. It's almost a requirement to launch it on Tuesday mornings. So I launched mine on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, as some of you might have seen. So I ended up, I had one of my grad students. He's awesome. He covered for me as far as he took attendance. I had something set up. My students right now so I teach game design. I teach intro to game design, which is basically all my students are they want to be video game design majors. They're basically doing things like coding, 3D modeling, animation. Not many maybe are interested in game design. But I teach a class that's really using kind of fundamentals of tabletop or fundamentals of game design using analog game design. So I don't really do anything with video game design, but I teach them through analog, like tabletop, which is awesome. So right now they're working on a project around, actually it's due tonight at 11:59 p.m. They're working on a project really basically taking the game of chess and tweaking it. It's like an age-old assignment. We've been doing it for years. Many instructors use this, where you just take chess and you do something to tweak it slightly. It's a great building block, type of assignment for them to learn how a great game is designed already that really doesn't need to be perfected, but at the same time, how they could learn from that. So I help them deconstruct it. I help them modify it, learn how maybe that didn't help it or did it. Sometimes it makes it fun. Anyway, so they're play testing it, had it all set up. It was fine. I hope I didn't get in trouble for missing a little bit of class. We'll see. But yeah, when I got in, I did tell them a few of them about it, and they were a little surprised because, again, most people don't really even know I do this. Even most of my faculty don't. So that's a little interesting too. That it's kind of like my alter ego is at home running Kickstarters, running a board game company. So, all right, Chris, I'm torn between Collector's Cash 99 and the Barrel Proof 140. 149, I'm guessing. But yeah, since there's and maybe it is for you, at 65 Canadian difference, would you consider putting a price list for the add-ons on the Discord or Facebook page so we can decide before the pledge manager? Well, the add-ons, and maybe I'm mistaken, but the add-ons, so the add-on costs for the stuff within there are already in there. So if you look at that chart I was showing you before, those are the costs that you see there. So I think, unless I'm not understanding you, for the stuff within there, those are all the costs. So you can kind of look at those and see how much the acrylic tokens would be if you just added those on, or how much the glass metal minis would be if you added those on separately. So maybe that'll help you. That's how much those will be in there. So, maybe we should have renamed that. It's tricky though, because some of those will be a little different as far as the things you can find on the website. But for the most part, maybe that's why you're asking that. But for the new stuff, the brand new stuff, those are the costs. So you might want to just look there, and maybe that'll answer what you are wondering. Hopefully that helped, Chris. And if that's confusing or didn't make sense, I can always answer you in Discord or something personally. What is the ideal player count for the game, and is solo fairly robust? Oh yeah. So player count, I would say most. Actually, this is funny, Kevin. I would say that I would probably say 3 to 4, but I actually think a lot of people would probably get in an argument, not with me, but just about it, saying between 2 and 4 or 2 to 3. If it's on BGA, they'd be like 2, because they play 2 all the time on Board Game Arena. But I think actually, if it's sitting around a table, I think it's 3 to 4. And I don't think it's a straight 3 or a straight 4. I think it depends on the play group, as most things do. If everyone around the table is a somewhat fast player, or not fast, but just a normal player, I think 4 is great. It's a lot of fun. People are vying for stuff. The market's flowing, all that stuff. I think 5, again, as I was saying before, if you've got the right group and you all, again, play relatively fast, 5's fine. But I could probably count on one hand, but even on like 3 fingers, I don't know, the number of times I played 5-player still, just because I just don't do that as much. But we did that for a small group of people to make them happy. And for those people, I'm happy we did. So I would say 3 to 5. Solo's awesome. It's a very cool solo mode that designed by David Digby, that's very unique. It's not just a little bot that you play against, like another distiller or something like that, which is, obviously very common in games, or a score you've got to beat and that's it, just play and hope you get a certain score. It's got a very cool system of kind of these different goals and checkpoints that you're trying to get through that's shaped like a barrel. It's kind of like a ladder you're climbing, if you will. So that's really fun. And then in cocktails, in both of these answers, I would say it kind of notches it up a little bit. So again, same thing. I would say the same answer for cocktails, 3 to 4 players. And then for solo, same thing as well, even more robust because it's actually bringing a little bit more. The good news, Kevin, is that if you want to tune in on Saturday, this Saturday, you can watch me host a 4-player game. And that's going to be, you'll see the calendar on the Kickstarter page, and you can kind of RSVP for that. If you want to tune in on Wednesday, you can watch me play a solo game. And if you want to tune in next Saturday, a week from Saturday, you can watch a 2-player game. So you can actually get to see all 3 of those coming up soon if you want to. So be sure to kind of watch that, RSVP for that. You can go to those and notify me, and then you can be ready. So I'd highly recommend you watch a couple of those and kind of get a good idea of that. Okay. Let's see. A couple other things. People have asked about add-ons. Let's see. Talk about retail. Just to be clear, again, I kind of was clear about it, but just this box, just the mixologist pledge will be available in retail. All the other stuff will not. The promo pack will not. Anything you find in the collector's cask and below will not. So be sure that that's the case as well. That you're aware of that. But no, most of those things, or all those things until we'd run out of them, are going to be available on our website down the road. They could be for a different price, and that's the thing you got to remember. And this is like the nature of the beast of these things. Prices can change. They're not going to change based on what you see here. So, for instance, if you were to go back in the Luthier campaign, or actually, if you want to have a fun little laugh, go back to the original Kickstarter campaign, which you can still do. Go to the original Kickstarter campaign and see how much I was selling distilled for, or some of the add-ons, like the things in that campaign. And then just go to our website. That's a good example of how prices can change. So this is, again, a good opportunity. I'm not saying you have to do it now, but this is usually evidence of it's usually the lowest price during the campaign, especially when you get it as part of a bundle. Usually, I mean, sometimes it might change, but usually if you get it as part of a bundle, it means you are saving money. So kind of keep that in mind as well. Let's see. Feel bad. No, I don't know what you should feel bad about. Oh, the school question. As we were joking about before, I've got tenure. They can't touch me, Blake. I shouldn't say that because now they're going to come after me. But yeah, no, it's fine. It's all good, Blake. It's all good. Let's see. You might have answered before. What's been the single hardest aspect of designing cocktails? Ooh, no, I don't think I've done that. I wish Richard were here for that one. Richard would say putting up with me, actually, is what he would say. But single hardest thing to design. Let me think about that for just a second. Not the renown map. I was going to say the renown map, but I don't think so. Not the double washbacks. Double washbacks have been around since the beginning, and we've just kind of tweaked them. So not that. Collectors have gone through quite a lot of change, but I don't think that. I think. I mean, the renown map has been a challenge, but not that much of a challenge. I actually think the hardest thing to design has been, and it's my fault, but the hardest thing to design has been the fact that one fell on the ground. The fact that there's dice in this game that could end up having some sort of random output that players are not going to be very happy with. And I wanted to, and it's one of these weird situations that probably is a very different way to design than I usually trying to think if I've ever designed this way. I've designed around a product. Yeah, I don't think I've designed this way ever. I oftentimes think about products like I had the vision for the big cask and like I wanted to do that. So then we started thinking about it. I had a vision based on lots of awesome ideas from people. Seth doing making the dice make music, and then I think it was Liz, one of our play testers, suggesting, "Can you make the dice make music?" And then me thinking, "Well, yeah, maybe we can with a dice tower." Like I can try and make products happen, which is fun. But I think this was the first time where it was, I want to have dice in the game because I want to have a cocktail shaker as the dice tumbler in the game. So then the challenge was, it was almost like reverse engineering the design to fit it. So it was almost like forcing it into the game, which I know that sounds bad, but I'd like to think actually we've made it work pretty well. And that was actually pretty difficult because we had to come up with a way that the dice was still a fun aspect of it. It was kind of a little bit thematic. That connected to the cocktails, that also would allow the players to be able to kind of foresee what was coming up next. That wasn't random. I mean, it's random, but it's something that you can see, and it's a different type of randomness. So it actually ended up working well. But I would say that would probably be the most difficult. Was one of the more difficult challenges. And again, a large part of that is credit goes out to Richard for kind of working through a lot of that, chewing through a lot of that, because that's not how it began. There was a lot of stages that we had to go through for that. So great question. Cool. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I like how the dice are played out, mainly because you can see what's coming up. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So again, I didn't really explain it, but basically you roll those, or you shake those dice, you put them out. They sit there. You don't do anything with them yet. They sit there, and then the next kind of round, or the next time you need to do something, then you pull the icons from those dice and fill the market or fill the fridge. And then you re-roll them again. So you're basically getting a sneak peek of what's coming next. And yes, once we discovered and realized, oh my gosh, we need to give an incentive for people to refresh that market and re-roll the dice. That's when all of a sudden people were wanting to do that more, because it was getting stale. It would just sit there. So yeah, great point, Box Meeples. Oh, thank you, Blake. Yeah, box organization, amazing. Something you're solely responsible for. Is the manufacturer heavily involved? Oh yeah, great question, Blake. So box organization is a kind of a team effort. It is not necessarily manufactured at all, or barrel, but beyond the fact that they manufacture it. That is largely thanks to a company or a person I work with. Game Trays is who I worked with originally on Distilled, and they've worked with many different companies or different studios and games. And then after Distilled, and when I worked with Game Trays, the individual who was working there that I worked with, his name is Bryce, and I got a chance to kind of work closely with him, which was great. And then we moved on to Luthier eventually, and then it turned out that Bryce decided to start his own company called Black Magic Inserts. And I thought, well, this is cool. Maybe I can let's see about maybe looking into working with him on the next project. So that's what happened. We decided to work directly with Bryce. I think it was probably one of his first projects. Not first, but one of initial, a handful of first projects. And so with Luthier, it was Black Magic Inserts, but Bryce, the same designer that we worked with for Distilled, for Luthier. And then happy to report that it's the same, of course, person we're working with now for Distilled. So Bryce not only is designing the inserts, but he also has done a little bit of the 3D modeling work as well. So he helped with some of the renders, like some of the renders that things like the acrylic tokens too. But he also did a little of the sculpting for things like the keys and the cocktail glasses, the metal glasses. And one other thing, I think. Why am I blanking? I think there was one other thing besides the renders. Oh, and the box. I mean, Eric, of course, did the box, but then he helped a little bit with the box because he was doing that kind of explosion too. So he helped out there too. So again, so that was really cool. And so it's really working with him hand in hand. He'll do a lot of it, and then he'll give me some stuff, and I'll say, hey, can we make this maybe a tiki glass? Can we make? And then here's the things we want in it. Maybe this is how we want the experience, because we want these things to be stored, but we want these things to be on the table. So it's really important that certain things are just like an easy pick out and put on the table so that you don't have to go through it. And things like the flocked trays for luthier, I really wanted them to be flocked because I wanted them to feel like a violin case. I wanted them to be player color because I wanted each player to know right away. And I wanted them to be able to pull them out and just have them sit next to them. So there are certain things that it's kind of like a collaborative process. I give almost all the credit to Bryce, but I'd like to think that I kind of work a little bit with him as well. Oh, hey, Dave. Let's see, Dave, will the cocktail cards have yes. So yeah, Dave asked, will the cocktail cards have names on them? Asking because a preview copy I played the other day did not, and it made for a bit of a, I'll take the second brown drink from the left. Yes. So the preview copies we have, so if you see any videos on the page, you're going to see that they did not have names. We originally, thanks, Eric. Yes, we originally did not have names. That was my fault. I think I got caught up in this like worry about thinking, well, because they all were specific cocktails, very specific. My spreadsheet has every single cocktail. Oh, I'm gonna pull up my spreadsheet just a second. The original the current spreadsheet, if I can find it, has all the cocktail names. It has the mixers. It basically has everything that we use to determine the balance of the cards. So you're going to get a little behind the scenes here once I get it up. And it has names. Well, I don't know. There was something about it, even though I love the idea, of course, of naming them, that there's something that I was kind of worried about with it. And I think it was because I was kind of freaking out that people would look at a card and be like, wait a minute, that says that looks like an old fashioned, and you're saying that there's two cherries and a juice in there or whatever. That's not how you make an old fashioned. And I should have been like, duh, come on, Dave. Right now in distilled, you're asking people to make like a rum with potatoes. Like, come on, man, wake up. So which is funny because I get back to what I used to be like with distilled, because originally distilled was very specific. That was how the distilled started, very specific, and then I had to like let loose. Sorry, people, I'm just trying to pull up the thing here. There it is. Okay, so here's a little peek into that. So here's what our cocktail list looks like. Let me zoom in on this a bit. So you can see basically what we've got is originally these were kind of going to be like customers. We went away from that, and we wanted to feature just the cocktails. So you've got the cocktails. They've always been the same names. They've always been the names. And then they have the glasses, of course. We've got how much renown. We've got the different combos, right? Of the whatever it might be, right? The different mixers that go into it. We want to make sure down below that, and this is thanks to Richard, of course. I can't do this kind of spreadsheet stuff, magic, but making sure, obviously, that we've got the right balance of glasses, of course. Plus, then we've got a pretty good balance. Maybe not everything. There's going to be a little bit of excess of some of these because some of these are more common, and then a little bit less of some, of course, with the umbrellas, and then a little bit more of those things needed on the other. So again, a good example of that. And this is how we do all of our stuff, right? So this is how we design our game, right? So it all starts, this is like Eric's nightmare, basically, is these spreadsheets. But this is how it all works in the beginning, is even down to like the cards to reprint, knowing that we need to do these as well. And then what it starts at is me doing this research. So I start with doing an actual cocktail one, where I do this and I say, okay, well, if I do a Moscow Mule, here's what I do the research on, I came up with the cocktails I wanted to use originally. And I said, here's the ones I want. And I have a little bit of the stuff of what I'd like to, of the things I have in it. And then the concept of what we need to have in it with these check marks, what kind of basic spirit is going to be in it. This doesn't have the one in it, but originally, oh yeah, these are the old ones. I think it's with Eric's. With Eric's, I also have I'm going to just pull this up to show the one that I have for Eric's. For Eric's, I think I have a picture of each cocktail. Maybe. Yeah. So for Eric's, then I provided him with a picture of each cocktail as well, so that he could like have that as reference. So there's a lot that goes into this. So every single one, there's a picture then that he can kind of reference if he needs to, as well. So again, and this is the kind of stuff I'm doing on the back end as well. So it's not just design. I'm also doing kind of like not art direction, kind of. Eric's really the art director, but it's also me kind of like working collaboratively with him on that. So going off on a tangent there, but you can kind of see that originally I looked at that and I said, we can't represent how to make a White Russian with these things. That's not going to be right. We can't put White Russian on there. They're going to get angry with us if we do this. And again, it was just like, it took enough people actually, and who it really took was Blake. So Blake Tucker is our mixologist, Dr. Inkwell. And it was finally when he sat down with me, this was only like a month ago. And he's like, why are the names not on the things? I was like, well, cause it's people are going to look at that and they're going to be like, that's not a White Russian. He's like, yeah. And he probably said the same thing. And you can't make rum with potatoes either. And I love distilled. I'm like, okay, you're right. He's like, get the names on it. Yeah, Dave, you're right. Yeah, potato rum. Get the names on them. Like, okay. So Eric was able to flex kind of at the last minute, and not for the prototypes, but find a great solution to it that you can see on the page now. If you look closely, you'll see it using that nice cocktails script with kind of a little bit of neon. It has it under each cocktail. So now you'll be able to see the names. So pretty awesome stuff. Yeah. Okay. Other questions? I know I've got, any other questions anyone has? I've got one more. I was going to talk about tariffs because I know that was a question people were asking. And if there's any others, but we don't have to stick around too long because I know that people have places to be as well. Real quick, tariffs. People had questions about the tariffs. Like, what about the tariffs? What are we going to do? Well, last time we didn't even know they existed, right? Last time we did a campaign with Luthier, we had no idea that was going to even be something that we had to consider. And so it was being manufactured, literally, it was being manufactured when the tariffs were announced. So that was the panic. We had already essentially accepted everyone's pledges. We didn't know how to handle this stuff. Now we know the wiser. And we are communicating to all our U.S. backers, and it's it's on the page, that when the time comes, if there are pledges in place, which there probably will, people are pledges. If there are tariffs in place, there probably will. I don't think the world will change that much between now and next year. But never say never, because we saw what happened last year. We will then be adding that on top of your shipping charge. As an example, and I would say that if the tariffs haven't changed much, so right now, just like last year, around 30%, if they haven't changed much, then you can probably expect it'll be around $5 for every $100. I don't know if it'll be exactly that. It might be $6, it might be $4, but I would say you could probably expect for Americans, for USA, it'll probably be around $5, give or take $1. I don't know, for every $100 that you've spent. Again, I don't know that for sure. And that's obviously not you paying everything. That's us handling some of it too. But it really helps us out a lot because, again, the amount of money, I ended up having to pay almost $80,000 a check to the U.S. government that I was not planning on paying at all. This last, was it April, whenever this was, that it was coming in. And so it just helps us a lot because it's something we have to pay immediately. and we don't know how much it's going to be, until that happens. So again, no, it's going to have to be something. So if that's something that you do not want to deal with, that's fine. But that's also why those costs, the MSRP cost, is that high, is because we have to kind of think about those things as well. So it's unfortunately the state of our situation right now too. So yeah. Any other questions? Otherwise, I will probably sign you. This is actually good timing. I'm kind of getting the end of my drink too. Let's see. What type of martini did you go for? Pop star, passion star? Are you just trying to get me to say porn star? Is that what you're trying to get me to say? Porn star? I don't know my martinis well enough to even know the difference between a pop star and a passion star. So maybe you are just trying to get me to say porn star. I don't know. I'm showing I'm an old fashioned guy. I tend to drink drinks that come in glasses like this, short and stout. I'm a short and stout kind of guy when it comes to cocktails. Whenever I get, it is funny though, whenever I order a cocktail that is served up like in a martini glass, I'm kind of like, oh, like I don't even know how to handle myself when I get one of those things. Shadow and Rune. I like that name. Curious, is distilled pacing above or where you'd expect? Oh, good question. How many pre-launch follows did you have for the first campaign when it went live? Oh, geez. Oh man, I'm sure I could go back to some sort of like notes or video. I want to say, I don't know why 3,000 is, or is it 5,000? I don't know if it was 3,000 or 5,000. Maybe it was 3,000. I feel like it was 3,000. I think I had 3,000 on my mailing list before I went live with Distilled, maybe. But maybe I had 3,000 followers. But the good question. So again, I can't remember exactly how many I had before it went live. This is actually exceeding right now. It's or pacing above, or I don't know about pacing. We'll see about pacing. But as far as where it is right now, it is above what I expected. I had told Libby, and for those that don't know, Libby is our awesome community coordinator for Paverson Games. She is phenomenal. She is like. She is my rock. She is keeping me alive. In addition to my wife upstairs too, and Libby's overseas in the UK. And she helped really put this whole campaign together, kind of from the organizational standpoint, and Eric helped from the visualization standpoint. And I think I was telling her, I think that like I was hoping that we'd maybe make at the end of it hit a minimum of 250, and we've already exceeded that. So yes, on the first day we exceeded that. So yes, I think it is real. I've been kind of blown away. I was not expecting this much, so it's pretty awesome. So cool to see the community coming out and getting excited about this. And I know a lot of people have been long time coming to see this, and people have heard me say this before. I don't operate like the typical business that says, well, we did a Kickstarter last year. The thing you have to do is you have to reprint and do a little expansion. Like that's what everybody does to take advantage of it. And I'm like, I did Distilled, and then I said, nah, let's do another game because that's what I want to do. And I just want to thank everyone for being patient and knowing that we'd eventually come back to Distilled. And we did, of course, Cast Strength, but we just did that ourselves. So we printed that and did pre-orders and sent that out a couple years ago. And so just really excited to be able to finally do this with everyone and celebrate all together for the fans, and really excited to have this, in a year's time. And everyone, less than a year's time, I think will definitely be fulfilled to everyone. So yeah, pretty awesome stuff. Thank you, everybody. So with that, I actually have another thing I'm doing tonight. So if anyone's sticking around that's not overseas going to bed, I'm doing maple syrup tonight on Facebook with Senfun Lim, and that is, and Kat. That is at, I think, 8 p.m. And I think I don't have a link, but anyway, that's at 8 p.m. I don't know. Maybe they're advertising it, hopefully. So feel free, if I don't know, I think they're going to ask me questions about crowdfunding. We'll see. So maybe I'll see some of you on there. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And if you have other questions, please go on over to the Discord. Keep writing them here. I'm sure we will at some point, answer them. Thanks, Bob. I'll see you tomorrow at school. I got to start prepping. I think I'll start prepping after my next thing, hopefully. And that's it. So thanks, everybody. Slanjava, have a good night. Thanks, and keep chatting in the Kickstarter. Keep watching out. Keep attending those events and participating. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. See ya.